Hello and welcome back to Saber Outdoors. My name, of course, is Mark Alexander, your wonderful host. And today we're doing one of these camping sets. This is the Kentucky Cutlery Company's camping set. You see these at Walmart for Ozark Trail. You see these at other places under other brands. It's basically just a bunch of things that people think are good for camping. So we're gonna see, are they any good for camping, or are they just a gimmick? Are they good, or are they gimmick? Because some of these look like pure unadulterated gimmick. So we're gonna open this up somehow. This has that kid safe like stuff around it. Can I open it? Oh, maybe I can get it open right here. Oh no. Oh, this is gonna tear my fingers to pieces. So I'm gonna use a little bit of my brain. Take my handy dandy pocket knife, my little open L knife that I like so well. Cut that side off, cut that side off. Put my knife back up because now I don't need it no more. I've got a knife right here. And let's see what Kentucky Cutlery Company has for their kit. So let's get it all out. We're gonna spread it on our table, get it all out here. So let's throw that down in there just to be sure it doesn't go missing. So let's look at what we got. We have a small hatchet, a stamped steel, like just hit it out of a deal kind of hatchet with some string of some variety. I don't believe this is paracord, this is just string, but looks like there's a fair bit amount of it, and I think if I needed to I could take it off. It says that it's handcrafted in China. So this is not an American-made product. This is a American-designed product made in China. Made out of 440 stainless steel, so this shouldn't rust. And that's all it says on the thing. Let's undo it. Let's feel it in our hands, because hand feel matters. That doesn't feel near as heavy as I'd like for a small hatchet, but I bet this will be a really good carver if you want to carve some things and do some bushcrafting. Let me read on the back of it, because most of these extra features I don't quite know what they are. Just says hatchet with survival cord wrapping, so I don't know why there's a hook on the back nor a hole in the middle. I know what I could use that hole for if I needed to straighten some sticks for any number of projects. That hole is big enough for little sticks. And this hook would be good if I wanted to hook something or hook it and put it on a thing, but the hook's not sharp at all. How's the edge on it? Oh, the edge is nice. I've got a stick here. Let's try it first carving, and then we'll try it a little chopping. So carving, it does okay. Let's try her out just a little chopping. We're not gonna chop plumb through this, hopefully, because I'm afraid for our table here. Actually, let me run it to the truck and get me a piece of wood to put in between, because this is, of course this isn't my table, but I'm using it and I wanna be respectful of whoever does own this table. So, uno momento. So we've got our sacrificial 2x4 if for some reason we do get through this in one shot. So let's just 3 shots, not bad on a small piece. This is probably as big around a little less than my thumb, so it does get through it. So it's not the worst. It's not the worst thing for this. The wrapping moves. So if this were mine, I would scooch all that wrapping down so it wouldn't have nowhere else to move. But it chops. It chops just fine. And the edge seems no worse for wear. So it's okay for small duty things. This is not going to replace a hatchet. They call this a hatchet. I would not call this a hatchet. I don't know what I would call this, but not a hatchet. But for small duty things, it does okay. If you're cutting kindling, yeah, this will do the job. But let's move on to our knife. All right, so Kentucky Cutlery Company. It's made out of the same steel. Now the handle is just this paracord wrapping. Does it move? Ever so slightly, but not much. But I like the design on this knife, where it's got that nice belly on it. Let's get our handy dandy stick here and just try it out. Ooh, that does not do even as well as our, that does not do as well as I would hope. It's more comfortable to use, but right out of the package, it doesn't do as well as I'd hoped for doing a whittling job. So like, if I were needing to whittle, yes, I can whittle with this, but I would much prefer the little hatchet as far as sharpness. How is it for a chopper? Because our hatchet was better than I expected as a chopper. So let's check this one. Almost no difference whatsoever. So I say that. You can tell there's a knot right there, and you can sure tell the difference. But yes, you can do both of those things with this knife. Now, these say that they're stainless steel, and I'm sure they are. If these were mine, I would probably, first off, sharpen. I sharpen everything when I first get it, because most things do not come sharp. These came with a mild edge, but I tested these things just like somebody who didn't know any better would test them, and they would immediately go, cool, got my stuff, there's a little bit of an edge on it, let's go camping. Now, you know what this would be good for? Oh, I said it would be good for it, and it didn't do it. It would be good as a throwing knife. This is a reasonably heavy knife, so if I wanted to, boom, throw it, I don't want to damage my camera or myself if I throw it at this distance, but you know, I think it would make a decent throwing knife if you just wanted to have fun with it. Now, let's actually take this paracord wrapping off. So let's actually see what we have here. How easy is it to take off? That's a question. Because, you know, paracord is what this thing says it's made out of, I believe. No, it just says survival cord wrapped. So, let's check our survival cord and see what we've got here. How much cord do we actually get for that survival cord wrapping? So there's our empty handle. We'll just, yeah, that didn't stick worth 2 cents. So we have probably 6 to 8 feet worth of cord, probably closer to 6. Now, if you want to wrap this back on here, you can certainly do that. And this is how I would do it. I would make me a loop, leave me plenty of tag on the other end, and I would start wrapping it just like this. Make sure your wraps don't pull your cord around, or your straight line. I'm going to even put through this hole to make sure it stays. So we're just going to wrap it plumb down. And see, I've got enough cord, I'm going to actually wrap it all the way back up too, because this wrap doesn't take a lot of cord. which is why I like using it. Now this cord, the beginning cord will hold itself now, and I'll take this other and put it through my hole. There, now that'll hold itself. And then we will make our way back up the opposite direction. Guys, let me start it over because I wrapped it the wrong direction. Guys, this is an example of professional, not functional, not professional. I will eventually speak words out of my mouth. I don't do these wraps very regular because it really is it tires my hands out big time. Now feed that cord through the loop at the top and tighten her around as much as you can. And now take that beginning knot and pull it down. Now that's going to pull your knot down into the thing and tighten the wrap all over. And you can work your wrap up just a little bit and pull her down just a little bit more. Get your wraps up over it. Now that's going to be there until the end of time, until I want it out. That's why we leave this much out, so that if we need this cord, I got it. But I've got now a fat handle that I can work with that's easier for me to hit harder with. I can hit harder and more confident with this now. It has a very much better wrapped handle. Now there's one more piece of kit that we've got. Now guys, I'm not gonna undo this wrap because this is only 6 to 8 feet. I imagine this is closer to 4 or 5 because it is wrapped more like I wrapped this handle. But we're gonna stick that one there, and I have this little steel right here. So we're gonna scrape this black off because it sure enough won't spark with the black on it. And let's try, oh, there's a few little sparks. So this is a functioning striker. So let's take and build us a little fire. We've been chopping wood and all this other. Let's build us just a little fire. Now I've got just some stuff in there, but I've got some other stuff to help us out. Let me pull this cord out. There is a little cord with it, so if you want to put it on your wrist, make it a little easier to do. First thing I have is a carpenter's pencil sharpener. Now you might say, well, we don't have any pencils to sharpen. False. Look at these here. They're perfect size to put inside of here, and you can just sit here with them and make shavings easily. And you just throw them in there. You just keep on run that shaving right into your hand. And look, you have a pencil-shaped stick, but you have all kinds of really fine small shavings. Now this tree is a mite green, so I'm not going to use it to start my fire with because that would take forever. I'll throw these little chips in that I've cut off. But what I do have is also in my pocket, and it's two different things. I have this little tin. It's an old tin, and it's filled to the brim with dryer lint. Now dryer lint is something, anyone that has a dryer has dryer lint. And I don't know anyone that's wearing wet clothes, so somebody's got a dryer somewhere in your life that you can pick up a little dryer lint. And you can cram it in there good and tight, and then when you're ready for it, just fluff it up real good. Fluff it up real good and throw it down in there. That's all you gotta do. And to help you out, there's now these little hand gel the little alcohol gel things, they're everywhere. So to help you out, just put a little bit down in there. You don't need to load it up like crazy, but you put a little bit down in there. And this is the hard part. I'm gonna have to probably stand up for this because it's awkward to do sitting down. But we're gonna throw a little bit more stuff down in there. Guys, I'm gonna have to do this somewhere else because this can holds me off from this teeny tiny little striker giving me a good shot at it. So we're gonna move locations, be right back with you. So you can see my little pile of dryer lint, and we're just gonna stick our stuff real close there. Oh, I can't do this on my knees. Boys, this striker ain't much punk. We're actually going to use the blade, which I hate doing, but boy, let me get some more dryer lint because this ain't taking worth 2 cents. Let's try this out here. Let me tell you, this little striker does not throw good sparks. I'm gonna wear the striker out before I actually get a fire. Hey! There it is. And that fire take off and go. And it'll go a lot better once we put a little bit of this on it. See, she's going now. So yes, the striker does work. Does it work well? No. It's really not that great. But can you get a fire with this? Yes. Does the hatchet cut wood? It cuts very little wood, but it don't cut good wood. It wouldn't cut anything like that 2x4 that I was using. But we got us a fire going. We cut ourselves some wood. We discovered how much cordage actually came with this. Now, my final word on it, this striker is very small, very short, very not great. Do not buy it for that if you're buying it. This knife, if sharpened, might be a better knife, but I think this would be a lot more fun as a throwing knife than it would be as a on my side pocket knife. I've got a pocket knife and it works really good. Like here, I'll show you the difference. You're at all kinds of weird angles. So let me pick my stick up. I've got my stick. This barely takes off the bark. Now let's compare that to my Open L pocket knife, which, you know, it's a little bit smaller, but I can cut this so much better with this Open L. So guys, if you're buying this simply for the knife, don't bother. get a real knife like this good open nail number 7 that I've got, because this is a good knife. So before I end this review of these things, I forgot about the sheaths. What about them? These sheaths are cheap. This sheath for the knife does not have any rivets in it. The knife, if you sharpen it and keep this knife for a long time and put it in and out of the sheath, it's eventually going to cut the sheath all to pieces. The sheath is cheap garbage. And I'm glad it was in the thing. This hatchet sheath has rivets in the corners, but not where the cutting edge is. So again, this probably will eventually cut through this, and this will be another one that you're going to end up making a sheath for, or just not having a sheath for. So all you really need to do is just get one of those. I thought for a second I threw it into my fire, but guys, this stuff is cheap made. I do not suggest it for any of you. This striker was hard to use with this teeny handle and this tiny amount of striker. Is it functional? Yes, we got a fire going with it, but it was hard. It was really hard. And also too, this knife, functional, but not very good out of the package. Same with that hatchet, functional, but not very good out of the hatchet. I suggest for anyone that's buying this for somebody else, just don't. Buy them a good knife, buy them a good striker, buy them a good hatchet. Even if it's just one thing, a good any one of these 3 things is much better than having 3 that are really not that great. But guys, I'm gonna go ahead and end this video off. Thank you so very much for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, hit that bell notification. We'll see you somewhere in the woods or on the water.